Hello and welcome to Premodern Mono Black Clerics. Most of the people who watch these videos aren't actually subscribed, so if you would like, comment and subscribe, I would really appreciate the support and thank you. And there are also other ways to build clerics, so I do recommend that you watch my general clerics video, as this one is focusing on mono black. Dark Supplicant allows us to cheat a Sign of Darkness into play, and it's a huge creature that has trample that whenever it deals damage to our opponent, we can take something from their graveyard, if it's a creature, and put it into play under our control. Dark Supplicant allows us to sacrifice 3 clerics to search our deck, graveyard, or hand for the Scion and put it into play, and it is a cleric itself. So this, combined with the mana ramp, can really speed this up, and it's really possible to do it as early as turn 2 or 3. Priest of Gix has been errated to be a cleric, and in my opinion is the main reason to play mono black. Having sort of 8 ritual effects means we can really just ramp into these creatures very quickly. We don't have too many options in just mono black, but there are some really good ones. Withered Wretch can take out graveyards. Rotting Reanimator makes every single cleric or creature in our deck turn into a 2/2 zombie token when it dies, which is amazing if we're sacrificing things when searching for the Sign of Darkness. Cabal Archon also gives us a sack outlet, but drains our opponent for 2 life. This is incredibly strong, it's way more powerful than it looks. Even if you just have 3 creatures, you can drain them for 6 and gain 6, it's super powerful. We do have a few zombies to lose life with Shepherd of Rot, but Headhunter is definitely an alternative against control heavy metas, where you can use the discard to really punish them. And for disruption, we have the classic black spells of Duress and Cabal Therapy, super strong cards in their own right, no difference here, except Cabal Therapy is a little better when you have something like a Rotling Reanimator to gain some extra bonus from the sack effect. And black, of course, has amazing removal, here is no exception. Curse Scroll is great in an aggressive deck like this that can empty its hand quickly with all of those acceleration spells. Otherwise, things like Snuff Out or Smother are just great choices against the pre-modern meta. And for other options, a lot of these decks do play Unearth. I personally don't, but it can be good in certain situations. Skeletal Scrying or Patriarch's Bidding, which will be in the sideboard if not the main, can be good for card advantage. As a monocolour deck, we can quite easily fit a few specialty lands into our deck. We don't want too many, as this is a generally land-light build, so my personal favourite is just 4 copies of Rishadan Port. That's because we are playing a lot of 3-drops, so we do need 3 mana, and the port can still help us to disrupt our opponents along the way. In terms of sideboards, you'll definitely see classic black cards such as Engineered Plague and Dystopia, as well as some graveyard hate to go along with those Withered Wretches. For card advantage, you'll want something like Patriarch's Bidding against those control decks, and you'll definitely want some extra removal for against creature matchups. And I've also seen some lists playing Bad Moon as a counter to opponents' Engineered Plagues. So the ideal starting hand will have some form of disruption and ideally some kind of mana ramp. The turn 1 start of Dark Ritual into Priest of Gix is absolutely incredible, especially obviously if it's backed up by Disruption into something like a Dark Supplicant. Then we can very easily just play another creature, turn it sideways, and then just get the Sign of Darkness. However, we might not always want to do that. Even a turn 1 Priest of Gix into a Cabal Archon, they look like 2/2s, but actually they can really do so much work just by themselves. And even if we don't have this sort of super turbo start, just the combination of these cards in their own right is super strong. And so against the deck and just against black discard in general, combos that can just come off the top as a 1-card win, such as Replenish, or things like Oath of Druids can be difficult for us to deal with. Also, multiple copies of Engineered Plague can potentially be annoying, although things like Rotling Reanimator can help us to get around that a little bit. Now, we're definitely an aggro deck, and in most matchups we'll be looking to play the disruptive but aggressive role. However, when we're sped up with rituals, we are just so much faster than our kind of clunky 3-drop creatures would be without the rituals. So sometimes we will need to just slow it down and grind them out. So the strengths are incredible disruption, synergy, and just resilience against everything. Reach as well, it can just kill opponents from nowhere with just a top deck Cabal Archon, sack all your stuff. And the downsides would be dealing with artifacts and enchantments that just generally black decks struggle with, as well as drawing the wrong half of the deck. For example, if you draw all your Duresses against a Goblin deck, they're not really going to do much, although this doesn't really happen that often. Here's an example list. This one actually is a list that I played to top 16 in one of the most recent monthlies. However, I do recommend that you check out TC decks, as there are other lists on there. Otherwise, if you have enjoyed this video, then please do like, comment and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Thank you for watching and see you next time.